Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So if you've been staring out the window, itching to get into your garden, just like me, you are not alone. But we are 3 to 4 weeks away from last frost date here in Zone 3, Saskatchewan, Canada. So that means it's a good time to get some of your favorite warm weather crops started indoors. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I'm planting up some zucchini, spaghetti squash, cantaloupe, and I'm going to do some more tomatoes. I don't really need any more tomatoes, but I didn't have a good beefsteak variety planted up. So we're going to start up some more tomatoes today. Let's get started. Okay, so there isn't a whole lot, you need to get started. Basically, we have our containers. We got some good quality potting soil here that I've added some water to, so that's got a lot of moisture in it. You don't want to use dirt from your garden for sure because it'll be too compacted. So I've got these about 3/4 of the way filled up. I like to use 3-4 inch pots. You can reuse ones from last season if you've saved them. This is a 6 cell one that is about, I think, a 3-inch size. So those work good for my tomatoes. And of course, you want some labels so that you can label everything. And I'm just using, like I said, warm season crops that are specified on the back to start indoors about 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost date. So we're right at that point right now where I am. Some of you may already be past that point, but here in Zone 3, Saskatchewan, we're one of the cooler zones in the world. So most of us are probably looking at last frost date, May 15th to that third week of May. I'm usually planting my garden around that May long weekend. Sometimes I wait a little bit longer with my warm weather crops like tomatoes and peppers because we can get, those frosts at night later in May. So as long as you got them going good, you got a nice sunny window or a space in your greenhouse where they can hang out in the evenings if it's still cool, they should be. So I always say it's best to start them later than too soon because then you end up with just leggy, overgrown plants that are, ready to go outside in your garden, and you still have frost coming at night, so you have to keep them in the pots longer. I've always been kind of, one that plants things later, and they always seem to catch up, once that warm nights are, consistently happening in your zone. So if you haven't started these yet, don't worry about it. So this is what, the zucchini seeds look like, pretty big. I think I'm going to do a 2 seed planting. I always just do one extra just in case, one doesn't germinate. And usually you just have to thin them out or, transplant them somewhere else into another container if you want to. Seed depth's about 1 inch, which is pretty standard. Because the potting soil is a little bit heavier than, seed starting mix, I usually top it off with some seed starting mix on the top, just so it's got that nice light layer that's easy for it to germinate and push through. So I got some of my Jiffy seed starting mix here, and I'm just going to sprinkle that on the top. You can see, and then we'll give it another watering here once we've got it labeled. Okay, so we got the 2 zucchini set up. Germination for zucchini is about 5 to 12 days, so we will watch for that over the next week or two. Then I'm going to do 2 of the spaghetti squash, again, about 1 inch deep, same germination, about 5 to 12 days. So again, I'll just do a couple in each. Seeds look very similar to the zucchini. Just putting a couple in here. Give them a push down with my finger like that, and then just a light layer of the seed starting mix on top. So again, super simple to get going. And I'm going to just do 1 for the cantaloupe. Again, it is about 1 inch deep, it says, germination 5 to 15 days. So most of these warm weather crops have about the same, germination time. You can see the seeds on the cantaloupe are a little bit smaller. I'll just try doing 3 in here. I haven't had real good luck with cantaloupes and watermelons. I don't know if my season just isn't long enough or warm enough. Sadly, I don't have a greenhouse yet. Just my sunny window is all I have to get these things started. But I always try a few every year to see if I can have some success. You have any success with cantaloupe or are doing some warm weather crop seeding right now, then just let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're up to too. So for the beefsteak, the seeding depth is a lot less than the other seeds that we just planted. It recommends only about a 1/4 inch deep. So you don't need to really press them in. Basically, I'm just gonna throw one on the top. I'm gonna try to just limit 1 per cell. Pretty sure these are fresh seeds, so they should germinate okay. And, you know, if I end up with 6 of these, I have lots of friends and my daughters that I like to share my plants with. I usually end up giving tomato plants to friends and family as a Mother's Day gift in mid-May because they all know that I have always too many tomatoes, always have some to give away. So again, I'm just going to put a light layer of the seed starting mix on the top of these beefsteaks. And we are ready to give everything a good watering and then put them in a sunny window. So, you know, sometimes gardening can feel kind of lonely if you're winging it solo. And that is why I'm really happy that I started my gardening community on the school app. And I just want to invite you to check it out because we have a lot of great things going on inside our community. And I've been trying to add, you know, a lot of value to the community so that, you know, people really get to learn whether you're a beginner gardener or a seasoned gardener. There's all sorts of things that you can expect to learn inside the community. So I'm all about teaching people how to garden year round. I'm going to start doing live monthly Zooms where you can join in and ask questions, hopefully have some, you know, guest speakers coming in to share their knowledge. Also, you know, mini courses and deep dives are going to be added into this community on an ongoing basis. Access to, you know, exclusive gardening resources, cheat sheets, planners, how-tos, and, you know, it's just a real boost to your mental health and confidence, you know, while you're growing. Plus, you know, it's a private, uplifting space to connect, share wins, troubleshoot struggles, keep learning together. So I hope that you will click on the link in the description box below and come join us in the Gardeners Growing Together community. So you want to make sure, like I said, that you have these set up in a sunny window. It's kind of a gloomy day today. We're getting some rain, which is great, so there's not a lot of sunshine. So I have a southeast facing window here that gets a lot of sunlight during the day. So you want to try and, you know, have your plants set up in a window like that, or if you're, you know, have a nice sunny window in your greenhouse, your garage, your in your house, wherever you can get, you know, that 6 to 8 hours of warm sunlight, and just keep the tops moist. I usually use a spritz bottle so you don't disturb those seeds. And so, like I said, we are about 4 weeks from last frost, so I will be starting to harden things off in a few weeks that are ready to go outside, putting them out during the day, bringing them in. And you just want to make sure you are turning these so that they aren't, you know, reaching for the light too much. You get nice strong seedlings that way. So if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. That always helps my channel. I hope that you'll join our community and the link in the description box below. And as always, I hope that you will subscribe, keep following me on my gardening adventures here on the prairies in Saskatchewan, Canada. See you in the next video.